surprises from me, but I'm figuring one big thing is going to be this. Hey, what up?
Sup, bitches.
Kaleb, I don't like you.
Hey, guys, we're live, but for the first 10 minutes or so, we're just going to be hanging out, chilling, shooting the shit. We're going to wait to talk about the main. We're going to wait to talk about the movie news.
We're live, but for the first 10 minutes or so, we're just going to be
camera.
hanging out.
I'm an idiot.
Chilling.
Anyway.
God, is that you? Is it my time? I'm not ready.
So we're just going to hang out, do whatever for the first 10 minutes. We were talking about how Cody doesn't like Kaleb.
That's true. That is known. That has been known.
So, Maggie, why don't you like all the drafting that's happening?
Is this a live conversation?
Why don't you like it?
I'm going to insult a lot of people. I don't
do it.
want
to. Do it.
It's just a popularity contest. Y'all are behaving like high schoolers, picking your dodgeball teams. So I don't know what to tell you.
Well,
she's not wrong.
My defense, I didn't get welcomed onto it. I made sure I got my own draft, and I picked people that I thought would be the best for my faction, since I'm actually a manager in this league. These Tony Healds and Thomas Scullys that wouldn't know how to manage anything decided to draft a team, and then I get drafted to a team with Nico.
Yikes.
And then, in return, I lose one of my best friends in this community, Maggie, to the team that has to be a partnered with Nico, and that's a terrible setup.
Did
Me and
they
Maggie
tell you?
together is a way better team than
the only ones I saw were the new British Empire ones that were posted in the Multiplex page. So whatever you did last night, I don't care.
They made a
You
trade.
went to the 5th round.
Yeah, you dropped to the 5th round, and then Eli had drafted Nico with his last pick, and Cody immediately, without missing a beat, screams, "Trade me," in the chat. And so Scully makes an offer. He's like, "I'll trade you for Cody, but I'll give you," and he was like, "I want Cody and Thomas Eanes, and I'll give you Matt Queller and Maggie." And Cody goes, "Don't take that trade."
One, I'm not on the same equal level, and me and Maggie together are a better team than apart. So that screwed his whole team up.
I'm just like bad generally, which is why I'm like, why are people like?
You're not bad. Okay. Well, the only match you've ever lost in this community is
6-1.
Yeah, but it was all a fluke, you guys.
That's a pretty good fluke to have. Well, some people would kill
a 6-game win streak is a fluke.
Can you imagine people having a 6-win fluke? They would kill for that.
A 6-game win streak as a fluke. Let's talk about that.
Who did you all have to beat in that tournament?
Me?
Who were your 6? So your first win was against fucking Robert's roommate.
Right.
Michael Zawicki, yeah.
And then I played Alec Miller.
Okay.
And then
tournament.
That was pre-tournament, yeah.
Zadius. And that went to the last question. That went to sudden death. That was the
Richard.
Question. And then Richard, which also went to the last question. Literally all of my matches.
And then
went to the
Dom.
last question. And then Dominic. And then Cain. And then you.
Which Cain McMillan was coming off of 2 knockouts.
Cain, right. And Cain's all of my matches went, except for the, I think Alec went to the last question.
You know what that means, Maggie? You keep things exciting.
I guess.
What was the match? I think it was the Cain. No, it wasn't Cain because I backed out. It was one like before we got there. I think it was Zadius that I think I managed like terrible. Like we made the wrong call on numerous things.
It was that one because I got like all the round 3 questions right, and it was that Shrek question. Yeah.
It was before I wrote questions for the league, but I vividly remember hosting it. And that because me and Robert hosted the match, and then it was round 3, and you were up, and Wizarding World was the category, and Cody's like,
and it was
you got to go for it. And then the category was what Wizarding World film has the following tagline, and the answer was Crimes of Grindelwald, and it was just
that's not your fault being the manager though.
Yeah, like. I think he made the right call there, telling you to bet. Because it's not like you bet 2, you only bet 1.
I said if I would have known it was a tagline, I would have said a thing. That was the hardest because you and Robert were both on call, and I don't think me and Maggie were ever more self-conscious after that match. We're like, I think we were terrible.
There was a couple of times where I bet 0 in Jurassic Park, and And then the one time I didn't bet 0 on Jurassic Park, I lost. So.
Caleb, care to comment on Jay Burns' comment?
I don't know who Jay is watching because Dom's been feeling it a lot lately. So, I mean, you guys haven't seen the matches he's been recording yet. We're ahead of where they are now, and where you guys are now, Rizzy was out of it, and the Rizzy that you're about to see is better. So.
Way to spoil matches.
I didn't spoil anything.
The hell, Koho? I didn't know what happened.
I didn't spoil anything. I didn't say what divisions or what matches or what. I just said he's been playing matches and he's been doing well.
Guys, you have to realize this. If Tim or if Caleb is ever, we commit a crime. Just say one of us commits a crime. One, we have a fantastic lawyer in our staff, so that's a great set. But the person that gets called into questioning that would sing like a giant canary is Koho. He would sell us all up the river to just get a plea bargain. And then when we ask him about it later, he'd be like, I didn't know what to do. I don't know.
That's not true.
You want to go to Whole Foods? That's what he would say.
You want to go to Whole Foods and a real great deal of chickpea.
Black tar heroin behind
We get black tar heroin from Craig.
Buy one avocado and pay $16. Okay.
You get one chickpea and a nice bag of black tar heroin, 16 grams. I don't know if that's how that works.
What does that mean?
I don't know.
That's why you don't do the bit.
I know. I took it a step further than I needed to normally.
True.
A little bit.
Guys,
what?
Disney Plus comes out in less than a month.
Let's go. Who ready for that? Noel?
Oh, I think I'm off that day too.
I took off that day.
I am done with my job that day, so I will be home.
That is one of my favorite things I have ever heard you say, is I took off.
You have no idea what he'll take off of work
Dude,
for.
I'm going to watch
what he won't take off of work for.
Oh, you suck it. I am going to watch The Mandalorian pilot 18,000 times that day. And I'm going to watch Noel and High School Musical, the musical.
The series.
Can we say that has got to be the worst title in anything
Oh, I love
ever?
that title.
100%.
That title's great.
You're trash. You are trash. So The Mandalorian is not coming out like it's going to be 1 week at a time, right?
So the first episode drops on the 12th when the app launches, and then every other episode will be on Fridays. So you get the first episode on the 12th, and then the following episode will be that Friday. So you'll get one on the 12th and the 15th, and then it'll be weekly after that on Fridays, except for the last 2 episodes, I believe, are going to be on Wednesdays on December 18th and 25th because they don't want to coincide with Rise of Skywalker.
I'm going to be honest with you. If anybody knew this information, it was you. You've been stalking that countdown page. Is it like your screensaver on your phone?
My screensaver on my phone is the brand new poster for the Rise of Skywalker, actually. So
listen, that poster is
kind of beautiful.
It's not my favorite of the Star Wars posters. I think
mine either, but it's good.
I think the Force Awakens poster still steals it.
I like the Last Jedi poster.
The Last Jedi poster is really
shocker.
It looks really cool. Come on.
Okay, so speaking of Star Wars, we'll get to that. We're gonna start rolling in to the movie news. It's ADST. This is when we were supposed to start. Hello, welcome to Multiplex Loves Movies, the show where every week we talk about movie news and just kind of like sit here. Last week, Maggie said, is this just going to be your boys club of you and Cody and Caleb just sitting around talking about things that you like? Are you going to ever have anybody else on the show?
Yeah, but I don't count.
So here's what I did. I called Robert. He said no. I asked Boatman. He said no. So then Maggie said, if you need someone to be on, I guess I'll do it.
And I complained and got on, so it's on me.
That's accurate. Okay, so first topic, which is the topic we start with every week on the show, is going to be the box office. I do think there's a lot of interesting things to take from the box office this week, even though it was a pretty standard week. That being said, coming in at number one at the box office was Maleficent, Mistress of Evil. It made $36 million. Then we've got Joker coming in at number 2 with $29 million. Another newcomer, Zombieland 2, came in with $26 million, I believe.
That's pretty good.
And then number 4, Addams Family, bringing another $16 million. I'm going to want to touch on that. And Gemini Man, number 5, with $8 million. Here's what I'm thinking. I'm a little surprised Maleficent beat out Joker, to be completely honest. I thought Joker was going to take number 1 again. It was only a $7 million difference. Joker still holding on strong, though, only dropping 47% again in week 3. That's really impressive.
Let's go.
Very impressive. The movie's already grossed $700 million worldwide. That's fucking insane. But the fact that Maleficent actually only grossed half of what the opening weekend of the first Maleficent did.
Is it really only half?
Yeah, the first one grossed about 60-70 million. If I'm not mistaken. I'll double check, but it still managed to creep in and get number 1. Zombieland making $26 million. I don't know what the first one made opening weekend. I will look, but I think that's fantastic.
It was about the same.
Yeah, so that's fantastic because the movie's really good. If you haven't seen Zombieland 2, I think it's I think it's in the top 20, 25 movies of the year. Really entertaining, really fun. So I'm glad it made some money. And then Addams Family making another $16 million, I think is actually wildly impressive. I was shocked it made 30 last weekend, and to hold on to make another 16, really great. And Gemini Man, just a huge disappointment for, I want to say, Paramount Film. Jesus Christ, they yikes. We'll go over and start with Maggie. What do you think about the box office here?
Well, hearing that Maleficent was only half of the first one just is very sad. But the fact that it took number 1, they can put it on all their marketing, that it's the number 1 movie in the world, and they'll be very happy about it. But I'm not that surprised it didn't do that well. I mean, wasn't it supposed to go on Disney Plus or straight to DVD or something? Like, it wasn't. I
believe it was going to be straight to Disney Plus, and then they ended, something like that, and they moved it to the.
They realized that no one wanted to see it, so I'm not really sure why they put forth the effort to market it to theaters, because clearly it's not going to pay off. Also, the movie is terrible, so I don't know. I'm not that surprised by that. I mean, you say that you're happy with Zombieland at 26 because that's about the same as the first one, but I mean...
Yeah, Jay is saying the first one made 24, so...
But still, you would think that this one would do better only because the actors have gotten more and more famous, but I guess you could just, say that it was, zombie fatigue or whatever, but I think that's bullshit. But like you said, it was a really good movie. People should go see it. Yeah, good for Addams Family. It's very cute for the children. Gemini Man is the worst, so...
Zombieland 2 only cost $42 million to make.
Just halfway
so I don't think this movie is gonna have a problem making back its budget or anything. I did look. Maleficent 1 opening weekend grossed $69 million on a budget of $180, and I think back then that was mostly due to the Angelina Jolie power. I don't think she really draws that much. Disney hasn't released budget stuff for this new movie, but worldwide it's made 157. So it's not going to be
what is wrong with you people?
It's not going to be a bomb for Disney, but it's not this. It's going to land more in that Dumbo territory where it probably does great overseas, and here it just does okay. Cody, let's go to you next. What are your interpretations of the box office?
Yeah, so Maleficent, have no idea. I didn't even know that the beginning of the first one was about Sleeping Beauty, so that's interesting. So cool. It looked terrible. Wasn't going to see it, so I believe Disney has Angelina Jolie locked in a contract for about 3 movies or so that is why they have to, where else are we going to put her? Let's put her here. Is she in another thing from Disney?
Eternals.
Eternals. Okay, I think, and that will wrap it, and we'll be done with her for that. And then Zombieland, I'm a little disappointed. I wanted more because I think I haven't seen it yet, but I would assume I mean, I haven't heard anything bad from it. I haven't heard anybody that says it's terrible. So, especially with the amount of actors, like Emma Stone has an Oscar. She's now one of the top female actresses working today. Jesse Eisenberg still sucks at times unless he plays the role that he's playing in this, so that works. And Woody Harrelson's, blown up even bigger than he was before the last one.
So good, this movie too.
So that's interesting. I'm just happy for Joker. I'm just happy for the Joker. Bring on as much as you can make for the Joker for me. I absolutely love that movie. So yeah.
Yeah, Joker, like I said, domestically has made $250 million. Worldwide, it's made $741. And that is on a budget of $55 million.
So they're definitely going to make a sequel.
Well, and we're not going to get into. I didn't link this as one of our main topics today, but there was a report that came out over the last few days that Jared Leto basically tried to shut down Joaquin Phoenix Joker movie. Like he tried to get them to cancel it or whatever. And in that same article, and it's all speculation, nothing's confirmed. It was all speculation based on a Hollywood Reporter, but that they basically said that in this article, there was a whole thing about how they were going to make another Jared Leto movie that was on the books to do a Jared Leto Joker movie. And then Warner Brothers was like, Todd Phillips can do his thing. We'll make it for cheap. It'll come and go. Doesn't seem the case anymore. Mm-hmm. Kaleb, what about you? Your thoughts on the box office?
I disagree, by the way, Jay. They totally can. There's definitely story potential for a sequel. But I think with the box office, I'm confused a little bit about Zombieland 2. Some people say that's a really bad opening weekend. I think it's perfect for a 10-year difference between sequels. I'm excited for it. I hope it makes more. I'm hyped for the Joker because let's see that movie make all the money. I'm really confused about Maleficent. I don't really understand why that made 30 whatever million, but okay.
36, yeah.
36 is too much. That's $36 million more than it should have made opening weekend. And Addams Family is really cool. I think the reason why that's making the money it is because it's animated is for kids, but also it's a known property, which I think families are more apt to take their kids to Addams Family because they know what that is than Abominable at this point. Plus, they've probably already seen Abominable, so I think that's why. And plus, it's Halloween, so people who are taking kids are let's go see a spooky kids movie.
Well, and at the
other kids movie that has a rap song in the credits.
Yeah, family. I've only heard it 80,000 times. The other thing too is if Addams Family wasn't out, do you think this 16 million would have gone to Maleficent?
Probably,
because the first Maleficent also came out in May. The first Maleficent came out Memorial Day weekend in May, so that's another big thing, and it came out right around the time of X-Men: Days of Future Past, Spider-Man. Guardians of the Galaxy. It came out during that summer where a lot of big movies were coming out. Godzilla, it came right around that time. So the fact that it still made 90 or 69 that week, but there's nothing else out for families other than Addams Family. I feel like that kind of has to take a piece of it. Other fun fact about the box office. So The Lighthouse opened in limited release. It opened in 8 theaters. And it made $427,000, which doesn't sound like a lot, but that's 53,000 averaging in per theater. That's insane, and it's coming.
Jojo Rabbit beneath that.
Well, so I'm getting to that. Okay. The Lighthouse is going to come to the theater I work at next week. It's selling like crazy. No other theater in my area is getting it this upcoming weekend, and it's selling a lot of tickets, which I didn't expect it to blow up, but I mean, The Witch kind of blew up, and so I guess it kind of makes sense. The Witch had a much wider release than The Lighthouse is doing, but I'm very excited about that. And then, so that was in 15th place, and then in 17th place, right below it, like Maggie said, was Jojo Rabbit. Now, Jojo Rabbit grossed $349,000, almost $350,000, but it was in 5 theaters, and it averaged $70,000 per theater. I'm so happy this movie's doing well. I'm so excited to see it. We get to see it next week. Hopefully this time next week, me and Maggie will have seen it. That's awesome. I can't wait. I'm super excited about both of these movies. Cody, The Lighthouse, Jojo Rabbit. Are you going to see either of these movies?
I live in Podunk Town. We will not probably get Jojo Rabbit. It will offend the old senior citizens. And The Lighthouse, I haven't heard much about it. That's my opinion. I just looked it up. It sounds interesting. I would definitely see it if it came, but I doubt it. Jojo Rabbit makes me excited because Josh McCouga said it's like his favorite movie of the year so far. And if it appeals to Josh, like it's not going to be like too artsy fartsy. Like it's going to be down that line. His is now Jojo Rabbit and peanut butter rabbit. You know what I mean. So that's exciting. Those are two movies that I would desperately want to see. I just haven't seen that one, and so hopefully Jojo comes, around Oscar time, I guess, or streaming soon. So, but yeah,
Jojo Rabbit, from what I hear, Jojo Rabbit is a Best Picture contender. That it is a top dog contender. I'm not even going to go to Kaleb because he loves to say things are going to win Oscars before he even sees them.
They both got the buzz. That's what I'm saying. That's why I want to see it.
They got the buzz. You've already crowned what's going to win everything, and you haven't seen the films. Anyway, let's move on.
Before you get off box office, I have one thing to say. One movie I want to shout out. It came in at 28 this weekend. It was in one theater. Jay and Silent Bob reboot, and I saw it, and I love it. So go see it if you can. It's dope.
It was in more than one theater.
According to the Box Office Mojo report, it says one theater.
It wasn't only in the theater you saw.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I'm saying Box Office is probably wrong, but I'm saying there was only one theater.
Forget New York and LA. It will be a period.
It didn't play over the weekend. So this weekend, yes, it only played in one theater, but it played on like Tuesday and Thursday through Fandom events.
Yeah,
that wouldn't come through with the weekend results.
Okay. Well, then I saw it on the Thursday.
But overall, the movie's actually Jay and Silent Bob reboot has made $1 million. Through those other days that it played, but yes, over the weekend it only played in one theater. Yeah. But
I read the report you gave me, sir.
This is accurate. Let's move on. This next topic, probably going to take a minute. We talked a little bit about this last night on AFTERSHOW, but we're going to dig in a little deeper here and spend some time talking about the Rise of Skywalker trailer.
Yes.
So, I will film. What'd you say?
Is that the new indie film coming out this year?
That's that new indie film from J.J. Abrams.
Oh, with the blasters and
the phasers.
Beam Me Up, Scotty. Got it.
The one that Brooklyn Vail played the guitar through while we were talking about because he didn't care.
Did he actually do that?
We were talking about it last night after show, and he just sat there going like this. I'm like, oh yeah, you don't like the topic we're talking about, so you just skip over it. No, I'll go. I won't go now. I have a lot of things to say. Let's start with Koho on this one.
Okay. I've watched this trailer 18 times. I freaking love it every time I watch it. The thing that always gets me is the new score that John Williams has in there is great. Like, I cannot wait to hear the full score for this movie because I love it. It's so big and swelling and epic, and I've cried once or twice watching it, mainly at the 3PO part. Every time, because I swear, if they kill my boy C-3PO, I riot. I'm done. But other than that, it's dope. I love this trailer. I'm excited for it. Bring it on.
All right, Cody, you had a violent reaction to that. You go next.
Who loves Star Wars and says my boy C-3PO? Like, I get it.
He's C-3PO.
He's a great character, but you see all these other boy. No, I cried. Not when Carrie Fisher was on screen hugging Rey, or when they do the.
I cried it always though, for real.
When there's like always, like those are important. Like Disney does a really good job of just selling trailers. Like they mix the color palette really well, so it's bright and vibrant, and it's like drastic shots that blow your mind. I'm just excited. It's one, everybody thought this was the end, when they did the prequels, but it was the wrapping of the story. They came out with new ones. I'm on the side of everybody that is a big fan of the new ones. Like, I love The Force Awakens. I don't care how close it is to New Hope or whatever people say. It's my favorite movie experience I've had in my life. Last Jedi didn't do exactly what I wanted, but it still was a good movie. So I'm excited for this one. I think all those punch a laundry away.
Everyone just decided to break in my room right now. Dogs broke in twice through Robert's video that I recorded. Yeah, I was like, what the hell?
Yeah. So I don't know how they're going to end it. My favorite character is back in this one, so I'm really pumped for that. Like, I don't know how they're bringing him back, but I absolutely love Palpatine. He is that voice literally sent chills down my spine. I think he is literally the best thing from the prequels, and I think bringing him back, however they do it, I don't care. Bring him back, make it when he sits in that. When you hear it, it's like it will tear you, bringing you guys working together, bringing you together. Whoever's seen it 18 times can probably quote me.
Doing.
It's so stupid. And that music swells. It is literally amazing. I can't wait. I wish I could be in Madison, Wisconsin and watch it with my friends, because I think when you watch it with more than one people, it's more of an event than just, generally going by yourself. So I can't wait. It's a perfect trailer.
All right, Maggie, you've watched the trailer with me.
Yeah.
What did you think?
Yeah, so I don't have any extreme thoughts or anything. I mean, like, I'm signed on, y'all. Like, I fucking love The Force Awakens, and I really, really liked Last Jedi, despite, I know, the controversy behind it. And so I'm signed on. Like Cody said, like, I don't care what happens. Like, I trust them, and it's going to be great, and there's no reason to dive deep too far into the trailer to try to figure out what's going on, because it's gonna happen, and it's gonna be great. So I'm there, and that's how I feel about that.
Yeah, I pretty much agree with everything everyone said. I love The Force Awakens. It's my second favorite Star Wars movie. And I loved The Last Jedi. I like it less and less every time I watch it, but I still like it a lot. And it's just, I think what I hope happens is we see this movie and it all comes together. Because what we've got to remember is that back in 1980, when Empire came out, that movie was divisive as well. I not as divisive as Last Jedi, but the movie came out and it didn't have a happy ending, and people freaked out, and they had to wait 3 years for Return of the Jedi to come out and kind of see the full picture. I hope that's the case here, where we get Rise of Skywalker. It completes the trilogy. It's a nice cohesive thing, and every movie, all three movies, kind of fit together as one nice puzzle. That's what I hope happens. I'm going to post some questions to you guys. Cody, I'm going to start with you. We never got a clear shot of Palpatine, but we saw more of him in this than we did of Mr. Skywalker, Mr. Luke. So we know that he's in the movie. Is he a ghost? Is he not dead? What do you think? Because I have a feeling that JJ might retcon some things. And the more I watch the trailer and the more I think about it, and the fact that we don't see him as a ghost or as anything, I think we might get a surprise where they kind of go, oh no, I'm not actually dead. I just went into the Force and now I'm back. And that's how they also talk about how Palpatine gets back. I don't know. I'm not a Star Wars expert. I just love watching the movies. Cody, what do you think?
Yeah, it's an interesting. I don't know. I wish I had the answer. I really do. But he was more in the chair. It seemed like at the end, it looked like he was in the chair. There's a lot that in the Star Wars universe that you can put people back together. Literally, Vader is robot, basically. More of his body is robot or like cybernetic. So I think it's him. I think it's honestly him. I'm okay if he retcons things too. what you were talking about, I don't want to jump back, but I watched an interview with Freddie Prinze Jr., and he said the people why they hate Last Jedi is because it outgrew you, bro. Like the Star Wars was made for kids at times, and then you didn't grow with it, so you're upset with how it ends or how it goes. It's not going in the same direction you wanted anymore. Like he's like, I'm in a kids TV show and I get cussed out every day because I'm in a kids TV show. That's not their Star Wars. Well, it's not for you. So like, I think it's going to be. I think this one's going to be the most divisive of all time. I think this one will literally split the fan base straight down the middle. Like, I do not think this movie will be regarded in high things, especially with whatever they do to. Huh?
It's not going to be like Endgame where everyone just loved it. Wrapping up.
No, I don't because one, the people that have the people that walked out of The Last Jedi and say absolutely can't stand it, hate it. They went in wanting to hate a movie at that point. So I think they're not going to find anything redeeming in this one if they didn't like that one. I think Palpatine will tick people off if he's alive, especially the older crowd. I think they're going to lose their mind. Like, no, Vader dropped him. He's gone. But like, I'd be okay if he turns around and he's sitting there, like a half face, cybernetic, something like that. Bring it on. I'm totally cool with it.
Kaleb, I want to ask you some of the stuff that Andrew and Jay are talking about in the chat. So Andrew asks, can only Jedi be Force ghosts?
I don't think so. I think there's like an actual like extended non-canon whatever where like Sith can be ghosts, but I don't know. Jay would know better than I would.
So Jay is saying that Papa Palps would become the only canonical Force ghost that is a Sith.
I dig that.
Technically, yes, only Jedi can be ghosts.
Is that why Anakin made the turn in the thing? Yeah. Because he made the turn to the light side before he died?
I would assume so. But what do you think? Are we going to see Luke as a ghost? Are we going to see is Papa Palps a ghost?
I don't know what's going to happen with Papa Palps. I'm not sure. I think Luke's a ghost. I think we're going to see a lot of Force ghosts. At least that might be that's a little bit my hope. Like Yoda, Obi-Wan, Anakin. We're going to see a lot of Force ghosts that kind of connect everything together. My hope is maybe a Windu Force ghost even. Like, I would love to see, like, Force ghosts from, like, a couple prequel characters that we like.
So basically we get the endgame finale.
The endgame finale.
They're all standing around as Force ghosts.
Yeah, where they all come back as Force ghosts at the Ewok bonfire at the end of this movie. But I want to see them as ghosts. I'd like to see the Force ghosts back again. I think they're interesting. And Jay, it will not beat Endgame at the box office. I'm sorry. It will.
Well, so that's the question I was going to pose to Maggie. Jay asking, will it beat Endgame? No. Maggie, your take.
No chance at all. As I sort of brought up to Cody, like Endgame was pretty much universally loved. Infinity War was pretty universally loved, I think too. I know there are more people that have problems with Infinity War than they do Endgame, but for the most part, I think people really liked Infinity War. So I think, and Thor Ragnarok. So like, and Black Panther. So like except not Captain Marvel. Okay, so almost all of the movies leading up to Endgame were pretty much universally loved, where obviously Last Jedi is not. And because this is the direct sequel to that, I think that less people are going to see it in the theater. Like, to be completely honest, I think that a lot of people are still going to go see it because they have to. Because it's the Star Wars movie that's coming out this year, and it's coming out at Christmas, and every year they go see the Star Wars movie that comes out at Christmas. But coming off of Solo and Last Jedi, I don't think that there's gonna be enough people who are willing to go see it more than once if they go at all.
But the difference is, here's my take. I don't think it's gonna beat Endgame at the box office opening weekend, worldwide, overall, not a chance. I don't think so. But I think it will be the highest grossing Star Wars movie. I think it's gonna outgross Force Awakens. Worldwide, not domestically, because domestically Force Awakens almost hit $1 billion. Here's why. Here's what I'm going to say. I actually disagree with Cody. I think that this movie is going to reunite the fan base. I think that this movie, JJ, I think knows, and he's been on record saying that Last Jedi, if it were up to him, he would have made changes to Last Jedi. He wishes that Rian Johnson would have spoken with him more about the decisions he was going to make in Last Jedi. I think that JJ is making a movie that is aiming to please. I think this is going to be a fan service. I'll go to you next, Cody. And then we'll go to Maggie. I think that he's making a movie that is going to be pure and utter fan service. And that's not a bad thing. There's nothing wrong with fan service if it's done right. Endgame is the clear example. That entire movie is fucking fan service from beginning to end. That's all the movie is fan service. If you don't agree with me, you're wrong. I'm sorry. The movie is fan service from beginning to end. I think this movie is also going to do that. Otherwise, Luke wouldn't be in the fucking movie. The Emperor wouldn't be in the fucking movie if it wasn't going to be all fan service. And again, fan service isn't a bad thing. I think he's aiming to please. If the movie's good, if it is good, and people who hated The Last Jedi love it, and people who loved The Last Jedi love it, people will go back to see it again if the movie's good. The movie has to be good. If the movie's bad, if the movie's not even excellent, it just has to be good. It has to be better than The Last Jedi, and people will go watch it because there were so many people who didn't like The Force Awakens, and yet that movie made so much fucking money. Cody, tell me why I'm wrong.
Okay, you're incorrect on one huge statement. Star Wars was away for such a long time, especially with Han, Luke, and Leia. Luke and Leia and Han were advertised to be in Force Awakens. So that brings the old and the new. It turned into an event. It turned into a juggernaut. No one saw it coming, and it continued to snowball. It continued to go crazy. 247 for the opening weekend, I think it was. It totaled 900 million. I don't think it will even touch the best. I don't even think it will be the highest grossing for the simple fact. I agree fan service will be in this, and I don't think fan service is bad. But the reason why, one, it will never touch Endgame, and I don't think most movies will, is because it became that came off success after success after success, regardless what you thought about the movies themselves, like Captain Marvel, Black Panther, Infinity War, Ant-Man and the Wasp, different stuff like that. It was literally $1 billion, and Ant-Man and the Wasp, but $2 billion. Like, it kept going and going. So when they hit Endgame, done. It was going to run. It was going to run nonstop. This is coming off Force Awakens, Rogue One, Last Jedi, Solo. It is hit, and people. It went fast. Last Jedi went out of the theaters faster than anything. I agree. If you don't think it's good, it's enough people are ticked about it, and it's the popular thing to hate Star Wars at this point. So people are going to buy a ticket once. Those fans will buy a ticket once. They will not buy tickets, and it won't be the same thing. Like, I remember last year.
Even if the movie's amazing?
Still, because they'll have to retcon they would almost have to retcon what they did in Last Jedi to make it work for the people that hate the movies. Again, I may be wrong. I just don't think it will ever come close to what Force Awakens was able to accomplish, because people, at the end of the day, I don't think people like me and you and other people love that movie. But for the general public, it ripped off the New Hope. It did a bad blah, blah, blah. It was the exact same thing. But then to steamroll, terrifying.
Star Wars
$300 million off. That's $300 million off.
Still made $1 billion. It was
$700 million off of what it did. $700 million off. At the end of the day, that is a massive drop in Star Wars. Yeah, look at that. Thank you. That's clear.
Yeah, there's a big difference.
I was just going to agree with you.
Oh.
I was going to say.
And I was just
go ahead.
Okay, I was just going to say that didn't they initially, J.J. Abrams was not supposed to direct the third one. They were going to bring somebody new in, right?
Colin
Trevorrow.
Oh,
Jurassic
right,
World
exactly.
thing.
Okay, see, I knew it somewhere in my brain. I knew that somebody else was supposed to direct it. The whole reason they're bringing him back is because of what a good job he did on Force Awakens, and they know that he will be able to please people. And so honestly think that's why they're doing it. So
yeah, because they're reaching at everything possible. There's a reason all these movies came out this year. There's a reason Aladdin, Lion King, all these, they are paying for Disney Plus. They are in the hole from Disney Plus for being able to offer it at the price that they're offering. They need this movie to be the most successful movie. And yes, they brought J.J. Abrams because he had success, but they still let Ryan Johnson touch Last Jedi. And regardless what you think, that's $700 million drop. I don't think the third one after the second one brings back the success with just Palpatine. Now, if they put Vader in it, we'd be having a totally different conversation right now.
But the thing is, let's say that that's the only, and I think that's why I disagree, is that people will go, yeah, I agree. People who hated The Last Jedi are still going to be like, well, I don't like The Rise of Skywalker, but I'm still going to go see it once because I need to talk about what's in it that I can say that I hate it. And then they're sitting there and they go, oh, Luke's back. Yeah, whatever. I knew that. Oh, the Emperor. That's fine. Fucking Anakin, like Hayden Christensen shows up in this movie. Imagine Yoda shows up.
Force Ghost.
Oh, no.
People will freak out.
Ghost.
Ewan McGregor shows up as Obi-Wan.
Then guess what? Let's do
the
freaking ending with Force Ghost because I'm in.
Hey, you guys are great fandom players. What's the lady that's on the island with the big old goggles?
Maz Kanata.
Yeah, let's just, if that's the case, then let's just have a talk show host and a reunion show, and we'll bring back all the people from the other 9 movies to talk about what they've been doing.
Okay.
It's got to make sense to the story.
I'm not saying that, like, oh, we need to sit down. Obi-Wan, how is death, Obi-Wan? I'm saying, like...
Here's the Jedi Council.
I'm saying do what Endgame did. Do what Endgame did. Literally, everyone immediately comes back. Boom. Pepper shows up in a rescue suit that was barely set up. And we get people showing up left and right, paying off fan service. Do the freaking the Force Ghost, bro. It works. It'll be dope.
And no one will go back.
No one will go back, but it'd be awesome.
We're gonna move on. We barely talked about things that were in the trailer, but that's okay. We had a good Star Wars discussion. I'm into it.
Taking one last look, sir.
My hope is it does beat Force Awakens, honestly. But I just don't think it will because people are dumbasses. I honestly do.
I hope it's
great. I'm excited.
Star Wars movie. I hope that it's the best fucking Star Wars movie I've ever seen in my goddamn life, and I walk out and give it a 5 out of 5, turn around, go back in and watch it again, and Maggie will go, no, Tim, I'm tired, I need to go to bed. And I go, too fucking bad, I'm driving you home, and then I'm going again. See ya. Like, that's my hope. But anywho.
My hope is you just start acting like you have the Force around Madison, Wisconsin after you see this. Go to the LARPing field.
You guys say that, but you don't live with him.
He force chokes people when they delivery people. When they
he's hosting a match later in the week, and I say something. He just looks at me. He's just like,
the lightning shoots from his hand.
Do it.
He just turns into I had the joke in my head. I just like Key and Peele.
And
are we talking about what's in the trailer, or we're not talking about what's in the
trailer? No, let's move on. We had a fun time. The Emperor's
all the ships coming together.
It looks dope. BB-8's a badass. Okay, let's move on. Next topic, guys. This one hurts my soul. Okay, we've talked about this pretty much every week, but I feel like I wasn't going to talk about it, but I feel like I need to. Francis Ford Coppola has now come out and said that he agrees with Scorsese, but he's taken it a little too far for my liking. Scorsese's actually being interviewed for movies right now that he has made that are good. And don't get me wrong, Coppola is an incredible director. He's directed some of the best movies ever made, hands down. But what else is he doing with his life right now? Please, if you know in the comments, please tell me. This is, to me, him crying for attention, and this is what he said. When Scorsese says that the Marvel pictures are not cinema, he's right, because we expect to learn something from cinema. We expect to gain something, some enlightenment, some knowledge, some inspiration. I don't know that anyone gets anything out of seeing the same movie over and over again, Martin was kind when he said it's not cinema. He didn't say it's despicable, which I just said it is.
Please, Francis Ford Coppola, tell me why you made Jack the movie. Please tell me your Oscar.
What is it that I'm supposed to learn?
To say that I am not inspired by some of these movies is ridiculous. This is the main thing that I look here. Now, I don't love Black Panther. I've been on record. It's not my favorite MCU movie. But Ryan Coogler was in film school and went to see the first Iron Man in the theater. He's talked about it, how him and his classmates went to see the first Iron Man, and it changed him. And now he's one of the hottest directors we have working today. How is that not inspirational? How is that not an inspirational story? Inspiring, like what The Godfather didn't inspire me to go be an Italian mobster. Like, I don't know. Like I get what he's saying about film wanting to incite something. It doesn't do that for you, Coppola. It doesn't do that for you, Scorsese. In the same way that cowboy movies don't do it for me, but they did it for my grandpa. Those were his favorite movies growing up, but they're not for me. These movies are for me. God damn it, Maggie.
He's a bad fella.
He's a bad fella. Maggie, what do you have to say?
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I just think that it's really harsh to say they're despicable. Like, I'm sorry, like maybe they're not. Like, well, Endgame and Infinity War definitely did something with the story, but, like, you can't say that just because it hits, like, the same 3-act structure that it's despicable. Like, I feel like that's ridiculous. I was going to say something, but now I can't remember. Something along the lines of, he's basically, like, saying that everyone who likes these movies are stupid is kind of what I got more out of his comments than, like, what Scorsese said, and like, that's obviously not true because it is the highest grossing movie of all time. So your movie's not going to make anything if you keep saying the stupid shit because people aren't going to go see it because you're making a fool of yourself. And it's also, I think, discrediting comics generally, like not just the movies, but like that's where these stories come from. So are you saying that like nearly a century's worth of storytelling is despicable? Like, I'm really sorry, but calm down.
Kaleb.
That's the thing that worries me more also is the comics are despicable. I mean, that's the kind of backwards thinking that we had in like the 70s and like the 60s when the Comics Code Authority was made because they thought that Batman and Robin were gay and that was bad. It's the same sort of thinking where it's like thinking about comics as these like childish things. Some of the greatest pieces of literature ever are comic books. The original Watchmen graphic novel is heralded as one of the 100 best books of all time. These are legitimate literature, and these are legitimate movies based off of that legitimate literature. I think despicable is harsh, but also I think we're only giving them a voice because we're choosing to give them a voice. And I'm kind of over everyone being like, oh, this person said this and this person said this. Like Kevin Smith said that these movies are great. Also, because these people came out and said they were bad. We're going to get into this big debate between a bunch of famous people that's like, I think these are good. I think these are bad. I think these are okay. People can have opinions. It's just now we're giving people a lot, like people who have names, a larger voice to say things that we're already talking about on the internet. It's the internet in print with famous people that made movies a couple of years ago.
On the internet.
Yeah. It's just, it's whatever at this point. I'm over it. Yeah, Mouse, Jay, exactly. I literally got it for college. Like, that was a book they sent me today. It was Mouse, which is a graphic novel.
Cody, your take.
So I've said it last week. I agree with Scorsese in the realm that it's not cinema in his eyes. Transformers is not cinema in my eyes. I don't want to go to the movies and watch. I don't enjoy those movies. I don't enjoy westerns for the most part. I don't enjoy horror movies. I think he said it in a stupid way, not when he uses the term cinema. But like I said it as my thing. The general public pay a lot for cell phones. Old people, like would think that's ridiculous that you pay that much for a piece of technology in your hands. That's just not for them. Francis Ford Coppola, please tell me again when the last great movie you released was. I'm sorry. Like, you can put your candle in you can hang your hat on Godfather 1 and Godfather 2 and Apocalypse Now. Fantastic. No one will ever doubt you. Those are 3 of the best movies that have ever been made in cinema. But to say it's disrespectful is just a stupid statement to get you back in the light of eyes. I saw Jack when I was a kid, and I was born in 91, and it came out in 96, and I knew it was shit then and shit now. So let's not pretend what we are doing here. You're just trying to get back in the spotlight with it. There's a lot of filmmakers. Like he said, for example, Kevin Smith. Kevin Smith's a perfect example for me. I don't like Kevin Smith films. I have never gravitated towards a Kevin Smith film. I would not go to the cinema to watch a Kevin Smith film. It will never get me out to go. But I'm to say that he's uninspired and stuff. No, he just doesn't make the movies for me. So it's stupid to say that these movies they're not for you. Just don't watch them. You probably didn't see them anyways. And when was the last time Coppola, Scorsese, Spielberg paid money to actually go to a cinema? You don't help these movies grow. The general public like them. The general public watch them. So Endgame, I think Iron Man is literally still one of those great films. The Dark Knight. They're comic book movies that's what is in right now, and you don't want to make them, so guess what? You won't enjoy the salary that comes along with a comic book movie. If you decided to suck it up and play a mobster, DC movie, you'd make a lot of money with it, but you don't want to. You want to sit on your little perch and watch your old Taxi Driver again. Scorsese, go for it. Like, I love Scorsese as a director. Like, The Departed is my top 10 favorite movie, one of my top 10 favorite movies. It didn't make bang bucks. It didn't make a ton of money because that's not what people want to see all the time. So they're just trying to get attention. I agree with Scorsese because it's not his movie. Coppola's an idiot. Like, uninspired, please. Like, that's the dumbest statement ever said. Like, Robert Downey Jr. started as a great trained actor. He wouldn't have signed on to be Iron Man in a movie if he didn't think it was up to his caliber. He wouldn't have stuck around for 10 plus years to do this. So it's stupid for Coppola.
Agreed. Let's move on. Next topic. Terminator Dark Fate is good? ? Maybe. Might be. The reactions are saying it is. I'm going to share my screen so we can see some of those reactions. So Peter Scarababa /
like it.
It's better than you think it's going to be. It's trying hard to be the Force Awakens of Terminator movies and mostly succeeds, but it's lacking Cameron's innovation, evolution, and directing. Arnold is fantastic, the best of his post-T2 appearances. I was skeptical of Dark Fate, thought the trailers were not great, but I wound up enjoying it quite a bit, and the difference maker is Linda Hamilton. It's always been her story. Hamilton adds the needed weight here. Perry Nemroff, a fan favorite of mine. Terminator Dark Fate, is it the best since T2? Yup. Linda Hamilton's return makes a big difference. Mackenzie Davis kicks all the ass, and Natalia Reyes is an excellent anchor. Gabriel Luna's Rev 9 is a winner too. Physicality, visual effects, fights, all spot on. Glad they gave it another go. I'm excited. I haven't been excited for this movie. I thought the trailers for this movie were dog shit. I thought they all looked bad. Wasn't excited for it. This gives me hope. I don't need this movie to be fucking fantastic. I don't need it to be an Oscar contender. I just need it to be good and entertaining and better than Rise of the Machines, Salvation, or Jenny Smith. That's all I need in my life. Caleb, are you a Terminator fan?
Moderately. My dad's a bigger Terminator fan than me, so I've seen them all. I go with them all the time whenever every time they come out, I've gone. So I saw Salvation, I saw Genesis in theaters, but I've seen the other three multiple times, mainly Judgment Day. I love Judgment Day. That's the one that if my dad's like, I'm watching this one right now, I'm like, I'll watch that with you. That one's so fun. So to hear it's good and kind of a direct continuation of the other two is cool. I guess I don't have an investment in Terminator enough to go into a Terminator movie and go, that was really terrible. Because I've walked out of all of them and been like, cool. Like, they're fine. They're more so like Genesis people hated. I thought it was like, whatever. Cool. Jed Courtney's always been terrible. So that's nothing new. Salvation was rough. I don't hate Rise of the Machines. I think that one's decent. It's whatever. But if this is good, cool. I mean, I'm gonna see it. So I'd rather if it's good, then awesome. Then I don't have to sit there for 2 hours and go okay. So
Cody, this is the first Terminator movie since Rise of the Machines that's rated R. Do you think that helps this movie?
Yeah. I mean, you'd be able to. The thing that made the first two amazing was Linda Hamilton. Like her grittiness and her, I went back and watched Terminator 1, and I think Terminator 1 I like better than Terminator 2. Just because of how tight the story is and how actually it's a horror movie. I would almost say it's close to that. It's a thriller.
Very much like
T2.
The ends. Yeah.
T2 is definitely a Cameron movie, and you can tell it is definitely got some big action set pieces. This is a weird one. This is kind of like Halloween for me, like last year. If it comes out and does well, fantastic, I'm excited for it to do well. But if it's bad, then I'll just remember that some of the other Halloweens still exist, and I won't pay attention to this one. But yeah, I think rated R is going to help it because maybe they'll be more gritty and go back to the harsh what Terminator is before they decided to go wherever they decided to go.
Well, that was some of the comments that I read, was that it does go back to basics, goes back to kind of what the original was like. Maggie, you've seen all these movies, once a piece?
I've seen Genesis twice, but I've seen the rest of them once.
Do you have any stake in this whatsoever? Do you care at all?
I'm going to see it. And that's it.
Okay. We're going to move on to the next thing. We're actually going to skip the next topic. We're going to move on to another one. This one is actually really entertaining. So Daniel Kaluuya, great actor.
Love him.
Fantastic in Get Out. In movies I don't love, like Black Panther, great in. He was great in Widows. Didn't like that movie. He was great in it. So he's got a movie coming up, Queen and Slim. Looks great. But Daniel's got another project coming up. He's doing, you remember that purple dinosaur, the one that's saying, I love you, you love me?
No.
Yeah, he's making a live action reboot of Barney the Dinosaur.
No way.
This is why you guys should look at the show notes.
I didn't get that far down. I'm sorry.
Barney, the dinosaur movie, coming from Get Out's Daniel Kaluuya. Barney premiered on PBS in '92. Makes sense that Daniel was probably old enough to watch that show at the time. I don't know how old he is. But here's what he had to say about it. Barney was I don't know how to say that word, ubiquitous figure in many of our childhoods.
Ubiquitous.
Thank you. Then he disappeared into the shadows, left, misunderstood. We're excited to explore this compelling modern-day hero and see if his message of I love you, you love me can stand the test of time.
It sounds like a fucking joke.
Yeah.
It's not a joke.
Real.
It's happening.
No, but it sounds like they're gonna make something else. Like they're gonna legit make a horror movie where Barney is the villain. That's what it sounds like. Like when you read that, and I wouldn't be surprised if that's what they did. I just don't see him being, I don't know, producing something like that. And if he does produce something like that, he's literally just gonna throw money at it, and I can't imagine him being involved.
Well, but at the same time, Anne Hathaway is producing a Sesame Street movie. And
but Anne Hathaway has kids. She has kids and she's invested in this. Does he have kids?
I don't know. But I think there's a way.
He's a kid.
I think there's a way you could do.
No, I think he is one. Is what I was saying.
Oh.
I think there's a way you could do this and have it be a fun family movie. Just because we associate him with horror because of Get Out doesn't mean that that's what it has to be. I think that if they wanted to take this in a weird direction, sure. But they could easily make this. The comparison was made on Collider Live. I forget who said it. I think it was Roxy said, why don't they make this thing like Christopher Robin, where you have like Daniel Kaluuya plays an adult person who's forgot about the characters, and all of a sudden they come to him and now they have to go on an adventure together. He remembers them. Why the fuck not? Why not? Cody, what's your ish?
That's fucking terrifying. I'm sorry.
Purple Dinosaur just shows up like, what's up?
I didn't see Christopher Robin because when I saw the trailer and then Pooh Bear turns around and goes, Christopher Robin, I was like, God, no, that's creepy. I'm out. I'm sorry. I apologize to the cool guy if you're watching. This is now the final circle of hell. The Barney movie, yeah, count me out. One, how they describe it, the test of time. I just feel like they're going to slow that flipping song down, and it is literally going to be a horror movie.
I would watch that, though.
Yeah, it's like the test of time. What? It came out in 1992? That is not that long ago.
Yeah.
Like, and I'm sorry, no offense, if Barney shows up like on certain, like, I just, in this day and age, one, half the people wouldn't pay attention to him because they'd be glued to their phones and somebody would kill him. Like, he would annoy somebody to death. Like, I want a hug. You don't touch people out. Consent, Barney. I want if Daniel Kaluuya is one of the ticked off kids that never got put on the show and had to stand next to whatever Baby and BJ or whatever the characters' name were and just hunts down the person in the Barney suits and kills him, that's a movie. Sign me up.
Watch
Other than that, not doing it. Creepy as hell. Count me out. This is not a safe space anymore.
Koho, it sounds like we've kind of see where you're going with this, but tell me your take.
If it's a horror movie, I'm down. That's cool. I'm not like the biggest horror guy, but I'd watch that. That sounds interesting. I don't know. It depends on what they do, I guess. I mean, if it's just like a Barney family film today, cool. I probably won't see it. The Christopher Robin thing, I think, only really worked with Winnie the Pooh because of that magic of the character of Christopher Robin and his relationship with them. I don't think you have a mainstay sort of kid. Like, it's not like Selena Gomez was a regular for the entire show as a kid and then ended up like becoming a superstar because of Barney. It's not like you had that mainstay kid. So like, there's no one. I know, right? Her and Demi Lovato. But
I didn't know that.
Yeah. But like, you don't have like none of those kids are like mainstay characters that can connect to Barney that way that you have Christopher Robin and Winnie the Pooh. So I think that idea kind of falls apart a little bit. But I don't know. I mean, it depends on what they do. If it's a family movie, no offense, I probably won't see it. I just don't need to see a Barney thing.
So, yeah, you went to the Addams Family. So here's what I have to say.
Because it's Addams Family. That's different.
I hate you. I'm going to share my screen again for a second. There was already a Barney movie. It came out in 1998.
Dude, I've seen that movie multiple times.
It has a 26.
I've seen that too.
That was my jam when I was tiny.
Let's read some of the reviews, shall we? With very little modification, this arcly, innocuous children's musical could have been marketed as a sequel to Invasion of the Body. Although technically superior to the low-rent Barney videos, which was shot in the country near Montreal, still has a bargain budget look. For those of us on the graying side of 5 years old, Barney looks like an eggplant and has a rigor mortis smile, no shoulders, huge rear end, and the sort of nervous giggle that makes you think he has something.
That's a guy that never saw Barney before he sat down in the theaters. Says, what is this? This isn't cinema. This is trash.
I love it. This is despicable. I love it.
What if they did this for streaming though? What if it was a streaming movie? Like,
I'm not gonna watch it.
Why are you all pooing on? You guys suck. Okay,
Barney's Barney
around the grocery store. I love you. You love me.
Barney was cool when I was like 4, but like I don't need Barney.
Tim, Tim, grow the fuck up. It's Barney.
Talk about this story every time it comes up for this show. Okay.
It's our mag. It's just like the mag countdown to the mag countdown of Fast and Furious 7.
Yes. Okay. Our next and final topic of the day. We are going to look at the movies coming out next weekend in theaters. This weekend, I guess. In theaters. There are 3 movies, but one of them I had never heard of. So we're not going to talk about it. It was called Black and Blue. It was some cop movie starring...
it's like a big release this weekend, isn't it? That's like Tyrese.
It has Gibson
Never
in it.
heard of it.
I don't give a fuck about Tyrese. I don't give a shit.
Fair
We'll move on. There's 2 other movies coming out. One I think is going to be bad but has potential to be enjoyable, and one that just looks terrible. We'll start with the one that just looks terrible. It's a movie called Countdown. This is a horror film.
Thank you.
Where you get an app on your phone that tells you when you're going to die.
I don't fuck with that shit. Sorry.
This looks so bad. So bad. We saw the trailer before Hustlers, I think, and it looks awful. Like, don't get me wrong. There are some bad horror movies where I find some enjoyment out of them. Ouija being one of them. Even though we walked out of it, The Bye Man. There's some bad horror movies out there that are entertaining. But this looks like another Truth or Dare that is just going to be fucking awful from beginning to end. Dear Lord, Maggie, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, it looks bad. I didn't see Truth or Dare because I don't hate myself. Probably won't see this because I don't hate myself.
I'm not going to go see it.
That is where I'm at with that.
Koho?
Yeah, there's like a promotional app that's out with it now that like my sister came home from school with it. She's like, "Watch, I'm gonna see how long I have to." I'm like, "Nope, I don't even mess with that." No, thank you. No, thank you.
Maggie's
no, thanks. I'm not interested.
Now, thanks. Cody, are you going to see Countdown?
So in the trailer, there's somebody that gets like 63 years, so I don't know why he's featured in the movie because he doesn't have to worry about anything for a long time.
That's the point.
But I feel like if I downloaded this app before I went into the movie, I would speed the clock up myself because I'd probably off myself, to be honest. Because this movie looks terrible. It's like the one movie, I don't remember what it was, that it was like they're all on Skype. They're on this thing.
Yeah, it's like Unfriended.
And one puts their hand in the blender or something.
Yeah, Unfriended is good, though.
Like, that's a movie I want to go see. This one's better than Truth or Dare, I think, because not everybody has that like weird smile on their face that like all turns around and like headbutts them. So I don't know. It's a movie and it's gonna be bad. So don't go see it.
The other movie being wide released in theaters this weekend is a movie I actually have wanted to see for a long time. It's called The Current War. It was supposed to be released 2 years ago. Under Weinstein Company.
We all know how that went.
It got delayed, and then
wonder why.
Well, no, it got delayed even before. It was supposed to be an Oscar contender for 2017, and then it got pushed to 2018, and then got put on the shelf after all the Harvey Weinstein
What's
stuff.
It called?
The Current
War.
It has Tom Holland and Benedict Cumberbatch and Michael Shannon.
And Nicholas
Hoult. So it's a great cast. It's about Thomas Edison. I think it looks good. I've liked the trailers. It's been on the shelf for a couple years. It's not getting good reviews. Right. I'm still excited to see it only because I think the cast is really good. I'm also one of those people who I tend to like movies that most people don't like, that are like this. Like, what I mean by that is like Oscar contender movies that most people agree are not great. Here's the thing, though, about this movie that's specifically this movie. It screened at festivals before it got pushed because it was going to be an Oscar contender. It gets screened at festivals. It has a 31% on Rotten Tomatoes. Not good. The version that's being released in theaters this weekend is actually called The Current War Director's Cut. The Director's Cut has a 67% on Rotten Tomatoes. So again, not fantastic by any means, but they obviously spent some time on it, recut the movie, might be better now. It's still not long. It's only an hour and 40 minutes long. That's great runtime. If he fixed some stuff in the movie, I'm not sure who the director is. But if he fixed some stuff to it to make it better, great. Cody, are you interested in this at all, even though we just told you what it was?
So there's two things. This is a movie that either is going to be really interesting or super boring. I find history, like period pieces and stuff like that, fascinating because I enjoy history. But, like, I don't know. It's been pushed back. That kind of scares me. The cast intrigues me. I looked at the director. I don't know if the director's cut makes me happy because this person's directed Glee, 8 episodes, and like movies that I've never even heard of. There's one like Earl and the
Dying
Girl.
Girls.
That movie's great.
Good. That movie's really good.
So that's one. But like period piece, I don't know. You don't have it really in your repertoire, so we'll see. I would go see it just because of the name of the cast, like Benedict and Tom Holland, and Michael Shannon. That'd get me to the theaters to at least see it.
All right.
Hopefully it's electric.
Ooh.
Crazy pun.
Maggie, what about you? Current war.
Yeah, I mean, I remember seeing the trailer for the first time in 2017 or 2016 and being like, yeah, this looks good. And then, like, a year later being like, what? Did we miss something? Was this supposed to happen? And so hearing that the original, I didn't know that this was like a different cut and that it's theoretically better, so that excites me. I like hearing that it's short because I like short movies, and I do like the cast, and I love period pieces. I don't actually really know anything about this, which usually makes it even more exciting. So yeah, I'm excited to see it.
All right. And Koho, what about you? You excited to see the current war? Are you going to see the current war?
If it's up here, yeah. I was excited for this in 2017. And the poster was at my theater, and I was like, oh, cool, sweet, they're actually going to get the current war. I'm going to watch it. And then I went a whole year working there without it ever coming, and I just figured it didn't come to my theater. And then I guess I didn't realize it got canceled, and now it's finally, like, I just saw it's finally coming out, and I saw the on the release slate was the current war director's cut, and I'm like, oh, yeah, I forgot about that movie. That was something I wanted to see 2 years ago. So cool. If that comes here, I'll see it.
Yeah, I think it's a wide release. It should be coming pretty much everywhere. It's not like an indie or anything like that. It should be coming pretty much anywhere. Other movies coming out in more limited release. Western Stars is coming out, which is a movie about the boss. I don't care. Also, like I said, a lot more theaters are going to be getting The Lighthouse. I'm very excited to see that. But yeah, I think that's going to do it for this episode of Multiplex Loves Movies. Thank you guys so much for watching. This was a first for no, actually, all three of you have been on the show. Maggie, you've been on the show before, just not in this format. That's fine. Whatever. Who cares? The show has gone through like 18 different formats. Every time Boatman has been on the show, it's been a different format. So that's really fun. So yeah, thanks guys for watching. Cody, do you have anything you want to plug this week for Your List Sucks?
Still need some lists out there for worst superhero movies. Really wish I would have made the choice to do overrated superhero movies. I think I would have got a better list. But we're going with worst. It's going to be to next week. And yeah, so please submit your list. I got a few, but I need some more to kind of decide who's going to be on the panel for tomorrow. So it's coming up.
And Koho, what's coming up in the world of fandom?
Fandom fights this weekend. We got a debut between Mark Aiden Kamayer and Antonio Chavez. You saw both of them recently debut in teams. They're going to debut against each other in singles. And also the Fandom fight team #1 contenders match, Kings of Winter Mischief, managed this Friday. You don't want to miss it. The #1 contenders match. Check that out.
Maggie, do you have anything you want to plug in your world?
No, I don't.
How can the people find you on the internet?
I'm on Letterboxd at May24 Maggie, MA24 MAGGIE, and also on Twitter.
Cool. Yeah, I'm running around here doing things with Kaleb Koho in the world of fandom. I may be suspended for the rest of the season, but that doesn't mean that I can I can't rig matches. So, make the Kingdom lose every match they've ever been a part of. But yeah, no, good stuff coming up like I said, your list sucks tomorrow. Cody, if you want to be on it, send them your list. Fandom Fights over the weekend. Warzone over the weekend. New Nerdgasm this Saturday. That'll be a good match. So be on the lookout for all the things. Thank you so much for watching, guys. And until next time, have a good one.